Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Check it out. Fivio Foreign got a statement. It goes direct to anyone that says F the streets. We gonna let it play, but before we get into that, I'm gonna start this video. I want you to see that Fivio Foreign is giving back to the kids. He came out to Cliffside, New Jersey, per Tiny Bump and Big Max. They did their thing. The mayor was there. Everybody was there. He gave back to the youth, and he's showing that he is saying F the streets, but not F the streets. He's saying save the streets. All right? All right, you know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're going to check it out. This is Fivio Foreign walking up in the school. You see the kids there. They loved him. He's giving back to the community. So, you know, don't pay attention to the social media hype. You know, 21 Savage, he's trying to do his thing as well. He just said the wrong words, and we're going to work with that as men tonight and women.
So, the kids looking for you,
You want me to halfway do it?
My nigga, what up? You good?
Yeah, you want halfway do the movie?
Great. Movie star in the building. Movie star.
All right, that's Tiny
I
Bump.
told him, come on, come through.
Movie star in the building.
That's Tiny Talk.
Come see the
Yo, where you at, little shorty Balenciaga? You ain't taking
Balenciaga.
me yet?
come to That Jim Jones?
Hey, y'all. Now, this joint here, y'all got to see this, right? Fivio had this chain on, and it was a movie theater, and it actually had a visual little TV screen as you see in it. I'm going to get a close-up. I just wanted y'all to check this out. All right, here we go. Now, check it out.
Stop moving, man.
I had to ask him, what made you think of that? He going to answer that in a minute. Look.
Come on, baby, you know how we do anything. Cat Daddy Pill.
There you go. Hey, tell me what that is, son. Tell me what that is.
This is a real movie theater. You know what I'm saying? AMC, movie theater, the real Max.
You see that? They got a movie screen.
Nah.
Look at that. That's the movie theater.
That's my people, man.
Hey, yo. Then after that, right? We sat back, you know, and we took a ride. And I want you to really hear what he got to say, and then I'm going to say what I got to say. But this is Fivio's message to 21 Savage, to any rapper out there that's saying F the streets, and he's going to say why he's saying that. But don't take it in a negative way. This is all just, you know what I mean? What y'all call this? Entertainment, all right? But it's still working because they're listening and they're debating about saving the streets.
I did go.
Hey, yo.
So pretty big, bro.
Right now, I want to talk about how these dudes gonna make money off the streets, get out the streets, take their family to a better place, and forget about the people that's still struggling in the
Some real
streets.
shit. My little brother just jumped in the car. Niggas in the streets and niggas still doing what they do. Not everybody around me made it to where I'm at. You understand? So I will never give up and turn on my niggas. Like F said, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and niggas who was freedom fighters took pride on being able to go where the minorities and the poor live in the streets and niggas ain't had nothing. Let me tell you something. From when the game from when everything started, it didn't start from violence and y'all niggas. You know what happened? Niggas is scared of where we at, where we from. We ain't scared to be there. We ain't scared to not care. So when we still go there, we take pride to be able to tap in with certain people and go to different states and be in different hoods and love the people that's there and show them love, because the reason why the streets is fucked up is because niggas get to them higher positions and don't give nobody hope. Don't want to come back and nobody feel what it feels like to feel some good fabrics.
All right, see, cause what he's saying right there, so you understand, is that, you know, when you make it, he feels that you're supposed to come back and give the people below you, the youth, you know, some type of hope that they could do it. Don't just make it disappear and leave the hood and run wild and say, oh man, F the streets, I got mines now. F everybody back there dealing with the streets.
And you know, that's the same thing going on now as far as with Fat Joe when he said something about the dark side, because everybody trying to eat. So how you gonna stop one side from eating or give up on the side because you made it out the jungle?
Yeah, man.
You know?
What he say? What he say?
Okay, Fat Joe told the SMD that after this the dirty side of YouTube and nobody shouldn't watch him, and you know, he went on to all this. So now
What? The dirty side of YouTube?
yeah, the dirty, you know, 050, big shout out to 050. You know, you got Hassan Campbell, Harlem legend. You know, the dudes that, you know, they be going, dealing with the Jim Jones situation with Mano and all that. But, you know, they representing for the street. They call that the dirty side because they tell it like it is and they get grimy with it. You know, they like you, they raw.
Oh, so basically,
you know, they raw.
Basically, Fat Joe wasn't jacking ass.
Yeah, he's saying the F down because they always going in on it. But even Jadakiss said that Joe always going on them, and then when they go on and go a little harder, then now the skin get a little thinner. You know what I mean? That's the way I'm seeing it from the outside looking in. And I go back with Joe. But how you feel about that, saying like, don't watch this type of YouTube and trying to stop a brother trying to get out?
Well, I think, well, I'm gonna tell you like this first. Shout out to Fat Joe. Much
Big
respect.
shout out, much respect.
All right, like you said, Rob, I wanted to say that. Much respect to Fat Joe. Shout out to Fat Joe. I know Fat Joe personally. I was out there when Fat Joe was on the streets when he was grinding to do that joint. I think it was You Gotta Flow, Joe. You Gotta Flow, Joe. He rode around in the caravan, had Showbiz AG, the whole joint with him, you know. B.O.T. Mac, everybody was out there then. And that's how we move. So I just want to let this know that this ain't no shot at Fat Joe. We don't do that over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, we say things out of the heat of the moment, but we got to know how to deal with it as men and stand on it as men. And that's what it is. So I'm not going to give him my opinion on that. But what I am saying is that when you make it, you know what I mean? You're supposed to look back, man, and reach a hand back to help your brother up. That's the way we did it during my generation. You know, if I go and I meet a connect and now I'm getting 20 keys, 30 keys, I'm going to make sure that my homies getting 2 or 3 off of that so they can eat too. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the only one, like I said, you know, rolling up in the store. I'm the only one pulling out money to buy clothes. I got to buy clothes for another man. Maybe that's why 50 Cent got mad when Diddy asked to take him shopping, because 50 is from the street, and it is. You know what I mean? It's like some soldier shit. You know, it's like you up here and you down there, because like I said, I could buy my own clothes. But if you choose to buy it for your brother, you just cop it. That's a whole nother thing. So I'm not saying that you can't buy for your brother, because we got all kinds of rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls that'll come through Unique, Mecca Audio, and scurry on their belly like the snake they are through the YouTube, just looking to screw up a positive message. But, you know, let me get back to Fivio, then we gonna ride. All right, let's ride.
Matter of fact, respect all the niggas that came from nothing to something. Even the niggas who saying fuck. I'm just trying to educate y'all niggas. Because y'all niggas got this shit fucked up. Y'all not educated, y'all undereducated. If y'all want to, one day we can sit down and talk if y'all not scared enough.
Talk to
sit down and talk and be around my people. But the reality is this. You can't downplay nothing that's feeding the nigga's family. You understand? If a nigga feeding his family and he ain't hurting the next person, how you gonna say don't fuck with it? I can't fuck with it. That's not real.
So you're making a video about this, them saying F the streets or what? Because we don't get no name calling and all that, because it ain't about the names, it's about the movement. You know what I mean? That the streets still exist.
It's more definitely about the movement. So we're gonna do a song because the movement is real niggas. I don't care. Like we gonna respect the streets and we gonna keep it where it needs to be. And I'm gonna put on, nigga. I'm gonna put on for New York.
As you should.
Real niggas down 3, but I'm gonna bring us back. You know what I'm saying?
You know? But I
know what's
Yo, he's saying some real ish, man.
going on out here in these streets. Everyone's dark.
Alright. Good enough.
I
Alright.
love you, big bro.
You know.
That's my big bro too. I don't gotta know. That's my big bro. Unique movie theater. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to me. Shout out to anybody that's really trying to do something positive and coming from wherever we coming from and make it to where they need to make it. Because that's what matters to me. Not people that's saying fuck what niggas got going on. Don't say fuck what niggas got going on. Cause niggas will say fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you do. Don't speak on it.
Let me say this, right?
Cheers, toast the crime. Check it out. We're gonna let this play out. All right, so he said a lot. Yo, he said a lot, a hell of a lot. Let's just say that. He said a lot, right? So I'm gonna do a video on Memphis real soon. And like I said, I don't do videos to disrespect anybody. You know, my videos is just to enlighten and uplift you to what's going on, right? So this video right now is about, you know, saving the streets. Don't disown them. That's what this message is. We're talking about saving the streets, not disown the streets. When you say F the streets, you disowning the streets. And as you see, Fivio Foreign is giving back here at the high school. You know, he's supposed to be there again this week, so y'all turn out over at Cliffside Park per Tiny Bum's, you know, event. Tiny Bum gets a round of applause. And Big Max, you know what I mean? Let's not forget Big Max and my man Black out of Queens. Hold up. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Yo, you know, Pudge, you know, the whole crew, man. But, you know, they get a round of applause. But, you know, this ain't about hate. This ain't about clout. This is, you know, a correction. This is love, you know? This is OG talk, man to man, street success. Street to success. In other words, when somebody make it from the street and they become successful, and then when they forget about the streets and say F the streets, something ain't wrong with that, right? So just listen close, right? The statement that shook the streets, this is how it began. 21 Savage had said F the streets, you know, the internet went wild, rappers reacted, fans was all confused, the street felt like, you know, words got weight and bullets, you know? It was, you know, especially your own word. That's how you feel at that time, you know, like your own word got these weights and bullets. Why words hit different, you know, when someone made it? Why do words hit different when someone made it, right? Success changes the volume of everything. Like you might have been playing down here, but now that you're successful, like he's saying, you up here. You know what I mean? Money changes reach. You know what I mean? Now you got so much money that the people that started out with you, that grew up with you from the sandbox, they can't even reach your bag. You know, I see your mountain of money. You know, fame, you know, multiplies, you know, the impact. You're not regular now. You a voice, you a symbol, a reference point. I mean, kids listening to you. That's why I respect that Fivio Foreign went out there and got with those kids in Cliffside Park. You know, let's enter the counterpart. All right? Fivio Foreign spoke up. All right? You know, calm, direct, respectful, but firm. He said, that's not right. And then here's why. So he spoke his piece, and some of what he was saying was basically like Fabio's core point, right, was street reality. Everybody can't leave. Everybody don't get a deal. Everybody ain't chosen. Some stuck in the hood. Some trapped in the hood. Some surviving in the hood, not celebrating, just eating by any means necessary. Some take deeper choices than others. You know what I mean? But you can't say F dumb when you made it, because now you know it was, you know, wrong and you could afford not to do wrong. Yeah, we knew it was wrong, but we couldn't afford not to do it because we needed to eat. And there's a lot of people still down there, so don't think because you made it that you don't exist anymore. You know, street code 101, right? The unwritten rule. Never diss the block. When 21 Savage made that statement, he was dissing the block. You know, even when you leave it, you know, you can outgrow it all day. And that's what he did. He outgrew the block. And that's alhamdulillah, that's a blessing, right? You know, you can warn against it, you know, as I seen Fivio Foreign doing with the kids, right? You can escape it, but don't curse it. You know, that's the violation by the code. When you curse the very streets you came from, that you survived on, that you was placed in. But we didn't choose to go there. Those are the places that our parents could afford to go. Why if the streets hit different, right? We're gonna speak on why it hit different, right? You know, let me turn on some music on this, right? Now, streets fed the music, and the streets, you know, it streamed the songs, right? The streets brought the tickets, the streets defended your name, the streets made you believe. The streets made you believable. The streets gave you pain. Pain made hits. Hits made millions. You took your pain, your struggles, what you was feeling from over there. You know what I mean? From what you was feeling, you took that and you went to the next level with it, and that's the greatest part right there. You know, is that you actually knew how to take your pain and push forward through the storms that you was in, right? The perception problem, right? This is the perception problem of the streets. It sounds like abandonment. Now, how could he abandon the streets after it allowed him to get big change like this and live in fancy house, get his mother out the hood? You know, it sounds like, you know, like you're not ever sure. It sounds like I'm good now. Forget y'all down there. Figure it out on your own. You figure out how to get out of the jungle. I figured out how to get out of the jungle by writing songs, making songs, and becoming 21 Savage, who gets a round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax, man. Relax. 21 Savage gets a round of applause because he's a great entertainer. He's a great man. And, you know, big shout out to my man, you know, BMO. That's all I'm going to say on that. Right. Now, make sure you go check out BMO's documentary. BMO got his documentary out. He got to let me know what platform it's on. But I'm sure it's on the major platform or somewhere, VMO, somewhere out there, right? Now, that's like saying, go figure it out on your own. I figured out mine. BMO trying to figure his out. He made his documentary. The joint is fire. Make sure you go check it out. He got all official people in there speaking, talking about sex, money, murder, and, you know, how the beginning of that came. I got to plug my man BMO. Yo, BMO, give me that joint so I can start plugging it, let him know where to actually go get it at. But go to YouTube, follow me, BMO, and all that, you know what I mean? Now, that's how it lands, right? When somebody say, like, go figure it out, I made it out, you know what I mean? That joint lands hard, you know, even if it was unintended. Because I don't think that 21 Savage intended to upset the streets like he did, you know? And that's what I like about what Fivio Foreign said. Because he said it's not about 21 Savage. He ain't got nothing against 21 Savage or the, you know, or the Atlanta rappers. Because we would listen to some down bottom music, as we called it during my day, you know? But he said he just had an issue as far as with the movement after streets, because he still had people in the streets that was trying to find their way out the streets. They was trying to figure it out. And he felt like it was saying F his family, his friends, his comrades, his neighbors, that's still trying to figure it out, even though they figured it out with music. So you can't shit on nobody and say, man, I made it, you know what I mean? You go figure out how to do it. But that's how that lands, you know, even if it's unintended, you know? Intent and impact, that's like an oxymoron, two things, right? Now, this gonna be the OG check, not a diss spot. This the OG check, not a diss. Savage ain't young, right? Savage ain't young, right? Streets are dangerous. Streets destroy lives. Streets don't love back. That part is true. But messaging matters. the message you send about the streets matters, especially from winners, especially to the youth, because the youth is listening to you. They would have heard you loud and clear if you would have just said, save the streets, not F the streets. Once you use an adjective like that, you know anything come after that is straight negative, right? The difference between warning and disowning, right? Warning says, don't come here. Disowning says, I don't care, right? One saves lives and one shut doors. Big difference, right? You understand that? One says that you don't care. The other one says that you're disowning it. You know what I mean? Come on, man. What Fivio really was defending, right? Not crime, because as you see, he's here with the youth. So Fivio wasn't, defending crime, wasn't defending violence, wasn't defending ignorance. He was defending our people that's still in the struggle. That's all that was. With no exits. They're stuck in the struggle with no exits, trying to find a way out. No mentors. We didn't have no mentors. We had to figure it out. He didn't have no mentor. Look, if he had a mentor, you think they would have told him to go buy that big, expensive ass movie theater, carry around his neck looking like $1 million? But it's all a part of, his brand. So he do have a mentor. The mentor said, man, you do that, Unique Mecca Audio gonna take a video over and put it up on the show and it's gonna go viral. You know what I mean? So he do have a mentor and that's his branding. So that's the image that he's showing. But the real Fivio Foreign is the one I seen with those kids in Cliffside Park. I give him another round of applause. Give him another round of applause. We gotta give Fivio another round of applause. He handled that, man. He handled that. Right? So check it out, right? So like I said, our people we left behind, when we make it, we supposed to go back and be mentors. You know what I mean? We're supposed to make like a safe net for them. This is just reality. Come on, man. This is gonna be about street code and morals, right? We're gonna talk about street code and morals. Don't spit on ladders. Don't spit on ladders. Think about that, right? You already climbed. Don't spit on ladders you already climbed. Because you climbed up the ladder, that means don't go spitting back down. You know what I mean? Now, don't shame survivors. Don't shame those that's trying to survive, still stuck inside. Don't rewrite history to sound evolved, right? Growth don't equate denial. Because we know you elevated 21 Savage, but that growth don't mean that now you're supposed to be in denial that there's still people back there, like you was back there, that's feeling it. It requires responsibility to go back and help them, the right way, right? This is the right way to say it, right? This OG version, I'm gonna say it the right way, right? This is how you should have said it. This I would have said it, right? Something similar to this. I escaped the streets. They almost killed me. I don't glorify them. I want you better. I want you safe. I want you free. That's leadership. That's code. I want better for you. I'm here now so I can reach back and help you. That's what I feel should have been said, from an OG perspective, when we dealing with 3-4 generations later. Saving the streets versus disrespecting them, right? Saving equals guidance, right? If you're trying to save them, you're guiding them in the right direction, right? Disrespect equals dismissal. So if you disrespecting them, saying F them, that means you just dismissing them like they're gum on your shoe, And One build bridges and one burns them down. And we don't want nobody to feel like they want to burn down your career, because you see what's going on with the, and I'm gonna do a video on that because I find that interesting, on that little baby and academics beef. That's very entertaining. I think I'm gonna do something on that. But you don't want to wind up like that. You know what I mean? Because one build bridges and one burns them down. You know, real leaders build exits. Real leaders build exits. Not insults like F the streets. Not distance like saying F the streets. And not silence by not giving back to the streets, right? Now, I'm gonna give you my final OG jewel, right? This is my final OG jewel. You don't owe the streets loyalty, but you owe them honesty. You don't owe the street loyalty, but you owe them honesty. When you say honesty, that means say straight up, yo, I'm a rat. You know what I mean? I done told on 19 people I ain't no good. And you just keep it moving from there. And then the person know who you are, and he know the lane you in, and he know to stay out your lane. You know, so this right here, like I said, the final OG jewel, right? You don't owe the streets loyalty, but you owe them honesty. Just tell a person what you did, man. Don't be a flip-flop wearing in public bastard. Those are the ones that hide what they did. If you did it, just stand on it. No one's gonna do anything to you, but just let us know who you are. You know what I mean? And it's not a disrespect, right? You want people to know who you are, or you only want them to know what you want them to know. You don't want to know what you do behind closed doors. You know what I mean? You don't owe them your life. You don't owe, the streets your life. But you owe them respect, because that's where you ate off of. Because without them, there's no story. There's no records. There's no videos. There's no record deal. There's no billion streams without the streets, because you took your pain from the streets to make your money, and now you say F the streets. That's what the problem is. That's like, let me just close out, right? I've been on here long enough. I don't know if y'all ready for this, right? This ain't beef. This is balance. I'm trying to bring balance to the situation. This is maturity. This is, evolution. Right? Save the streets, don't curse them. Build exits. Be the proof that you can make and build that exit. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all 10 controversial questions, and I want y'all to really put this in the comments. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get back in the algorithm, so they hold me back because my content too real and raw, so y'all gotta put the comments or at least an emoji or something to show that you interacting, and hit the thumbs up and all that to keep this moving. That's why you ain't been seeing me floating, because they said I'm too damn gangster. But I told them I can't do nothing but run a gangster channel. I don't know how to be anything other than a gangster. But I'm evolving too. I'm getting out of my caterpillar shell. I'm about to get my butterflies into civilization. And you know what I mean? Now, if saying F the streets, is saying F the streets growth or abandonment to you? When you hear F the streets, does that sound like, growth or abandonment? Can you leave the streets without disowning the people still there? Can you leave the streets without disowning the people that are still there? Do successful rappers owe the streets respect or nothing at all? That's a good one I know y'all want to respond to. Y'all responded to it now, just put it on the keyboard. Now you got a chance to be a good troll. All right, good troll, let's ride. Now, is warning the youth different than shaming them? Is warning the youth different than shaming them? Did the streets make the rappers, or did the rappers make the streets? That's like What came first, the chicken or the egg? Put that in the comments. Let's see how did the streets make the rappers, or did the rappers make the streets? I definitely want, if y'all listen to this, make sure y'all put your comment on that. When you win, who do you speak for? Yourself or your origin? If Fivio, excuse me, is Fivio defending reality or holding on to his past? I know that's one y'all want to respond to. Is Fivio defending reality or holding on to his past? Because that's why you have so many people saying, yeah, F the streets, but they can't really rationalize how the people that's in the streets feel when they hear that. Or should I say they can't, they don't have any empathy. They don't have empathy towards people on the street. They just look at them as, well, they did because they chose to be there. When they missing the point that it's the conditions that allowed them to be there. You know, it's the conditions that allowed them to be there. But, you know, Fivio Foreign, you know, he gave back, you know, on that day. That was Tuesday. I think it's this Tuesday they're going to be there again, you know. The mayor going to be there and all that. Tiny Bum pushed in Max. Like I said, big shout out to Pudge, you know, Black, you know. Jimmy Akanjierson, can't forget him there. All right. Can you hate the environment but still love the people in it? Can you hate the environment and still love the people in it? Does money change your moral responsibility? Do money change your moral responsibility? Is the real goal escaping the streets or saving lives from the streets? Is the real goal escaping the streets or saving lives from them? Put it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about it, right? Now, with that being said, I want y'all to know that we got to come together and stop hearing words that people say out their mouth on social media, because even the negative things, you know, because they be in the heat of the moment and say things and the camera is on. Yeah, they could have edited, but then you have people that's in charge that say, nah, put it out there, when they know they shouldn't have put it out there. But then when they put it out there, it makes money, but it burns bridges, and those bridges could turn deadly. That's why I'm going to do that video about academics and Little Baby. I got a mean twist to give y'all on what could happen and how that could turn out from a street point of view. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio, my man Real Boss TTTV for the banging music, Unique Mecca Audio for the prison stories, and Mecca Audio TV. Let's keep it popping. All right.
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in hall. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust down. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend it air. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give